Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome back to another edition of Meet the Opposition. This week, I'm joined by Colston Crawford, the man who covers and writes all things Burton Albion for the Burton Mail and Derby Telegraph. Colston, thank you very much for joining me. Burton Albion, 12th in League One, had a great result on Tuesday night. Thanks for joining me. And how would you assess Burton's season so far under Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank?
I think really where we are, mid-table, is exactly what we expected. I mean, last season we had this great escape when Jimmy came in January, 8 points adrift at the bottom, as good as down. He turned it round with 2 points per game, basically, and it raised expectations quite considerably. I mean, he made very drastic changes in the January window last year, and it worked. And there's this great feel-good factor because he'd been here before and got promoted. And it was the chairman was very keen to get him back, and wasn't sure he did. And expectation levels sort of shot up a bit. But realistically, he was then spending the summer rebuilding again and starting to get it towards the squad he wanted. And realistically, you weren't suddenly going to take the league by storm in those circumstances. This is a consolidation season. He's moulding a squad. Mid-table is what we expected.
Yeah, and as I said, Tuesday night, a fantastic result at home against Bolton, who are the inform League One side. So what happened there that night? And yeah, 3-1, good result.
Yeah, I got a feeling that Bolton almost talked themselves out of the game. They were talking a lot about the state of our pitch before the game. They talked a lot about our long throws, which haven't been particularly productive this season. And they talked a lot about, I think there was a lot said about us being very direct. Not quite as direct as this myth that's growing that we're a Route One side. It's not quite like that. We are direct, but not. It's not ridiculous. It's not John Beck's Cambridge, as some people are saying. So I have a feeling that they almost took themselves out of it. And we got at them, got an early goal, and it went from there, really. And then it was just one of those nights when they weren't at it and we absolutely were.
Yeah, and let's talk about the January transfer window quickly. It was a very eventful transfer window. A lot of players leaving, but then, of course, a few players signing as well. Some of the key players that sort of shout out at me, Kane Hemmings is gone. Lucas Atkins, who was a legend at Burton. He's always a player, when Town play Burton Albion, he's always a player I look out for because I know he will bring stuff into the game. Thomas O'Connor's left, and also Daniel Jefferson, who was on loan at Sheffield United. He's been recalled, and they're your key players. What's been going on with all that?
Well, what happened in the summer was we got 2 or 3 pre-season injuries, and Jimmy signed more players than he might have done to cover those injuries at the start of the season. The striker we signed in the summer, Louis Malt, got an ankle injury in the pre-season friendly, which kept him out for the first half of the season. And so we were overloaded, really. It was a bigger squad than we'd ever known, and it wasn't a sustainable squad. So we knew in January that more would leave than would come in. Kane Hemmings was a surprise, but Tranmere were prepared to offer him a big contract at a time when we probably wouldn't have offered him more than 1 year. So he wanted that security, fair enough. Lucas, as you say, 7 seasons. He was in his 8th season with the club and a bona fide club legend. But all good things come to an end, and he's linked up with Nigel Clough at Mansfield again. Once again, great as Lucas has been for us, how long a contract were we going to offer him at the end of the season? Probably 1. And he's got bigger than that at Mansfield, and the money they've got at Mansfield is probably, they may well have improved his wages there. But he was the last link with the team that was in the Championship for 2 seasons, and it's sad to see him go, but it wasn't entirely unexpected. Tom O'Connor's departure came out of the blue, but Wrexham have got money to spend. Whether the fact that the chief executive at Wrexham is the daughter of the Burton chairman has anything to do with it, I do not know. But we all know what Wrexham have been doing. He wasn't the first League One player to step down to the National League with Wrexham. and the other two were more high profile than him. His was a position we were well covered for. Jebison was a disappointment because we thought we had him for the season. They got a couple of injuries to Sheffield United, his parent club, got a couple of injuries towards the end of the window, and recalled him. And he's been sat on the bench there instead of playing for us. That really was a disappointment. So we signed one striker from that Norwich were releasing, Gassana Hadme, and we got a guy called Christian Sadie in on loan from Bournemouth. They're both rookies. Malt is fit now, although he had what they think was vertigo and missed the game on Tuesday. But yeah, it's a completely new look strike force, so it's a little bit of an unknown. But those two rookies played well against Bolton on Tuesday.
Okay, then. Yeah, it's always a risk in League One. And this was the 11 from Tuesday night. You've been saying about there's not been many unchanged sides, or there's only been one game. There's been one unchanged side.
Yeah.
Any names there you can sort of pick out? Could be danger players, and also just talk about Jimmy Floyd-Hasbank's sort of formation and how he sort of plays.
Jimmy's gone to start of the season when we beat Ipswich for the first time. When we beat Ipswich at the start of the season, we were playing a back four. Jimmy's gone to a back three because he wants to play two strikers. We were playing a lone striker when we played against you early season. Now he's determined to have two strikers, but he still wants to load the midfield, so he's gone to a back three. Formations, when you're defending a corner, everybody's defending. When you're attacking a corner, everybody's attacking. It's not. They only go so far, formations, I think. But he settled on the back three. The back three he had against Bolton: Sam Hughes, John Brayford, Conor Shaughnessy. Most Burton fans would suggest to you that that's the best back three we've got, and they played very well. And as you saw, Brayford got 2 goals. All 3 of them are threat in the air when we're from set pieces as well. So I don't think he'll shift from playing a back three. I think we'll be 3-5-2 or 3-4-1-2 if you want to think of it like that. People to watch. Joe Powell, who plays off the strikers, is when he's on song. He's the guy who delivers the set pieces, and he's got a sweet left foot. And he put them on a plate several times against Bolton and got 2 goals from them. And he makes when Joe is going well, he makes things happen in midfield. Interesting one is the left wing back William Kokolo, who we brought in from Middlesbrough, is 19, French, I think, and he's an exciting player who will take people on, and you might see something from him in the game. I hope we do go unchanged for once. It'd be good.
Yeah, I'm sure. When you see teams doing changes after a fantastic midweek, midweek. I know if there's injuries and or suspension or anything, you change that. But yeah, we shall see and see what happens with Jimmy there. What sort of game are we expecting then? What game are you expecting going down to Portman Road? Burton beat us already this season. Of course, Scott Fraser's now left. Of course, he missed that penalty, and then Burton went on to win that game. I think if we scored that penalty, we'd probably gone on to win that, but we didn't. So, what can we expect?
It really is hard to predict. I mean, we tended to be quite good on the road. There's a couple of recent very good wins against Lincoln and against Gillingham on the road. But this is an evolving squad, as I said. We've 2 rookie strikers. It's a young squad. If you look at that team, there's only 2 over 30s in that team, John Brayford and Michael Mancienne. And Mancienne doesn't always start. So the average age has come down by 3 or 4 years, and that's the way Jimmy wants to go. He wants to build assets, he says, because that's the sort of club we are. We'll sell assets on in the future. So with an evolving squad like that, you get inconsistency. That's why we're mid-table. Some fans are grumpy about that, but if you're going to be mid-table, you're going to lose some games. Yes, we will probably be direct, but not as direct as the myth that's building around us. We do like to pass the ball as well, and it could, I wouldn't rule out us getting something. But the great thing about Ipswich is when we beat you at the start of the season, that was the first time we'd ever done so, and Ipswich were very much Burton Albion's bogey side prior to that. I think we got a draw once at Portman Road, but not generally. And Ipswich tend to have a good day against us at Portman Road.
Yeah, I still remember the 4-1 win back in February 2020 before the pandemic hit, and that was a very good afternoon. Although it was a time where Town sort of League One's campaign was sort of dropping because we were underperforming. But yeah, it's been a crazy few years. Both Burton and Ipswich playing each other pretty much every year. Definitely, the championship season. It was great to see Burton up there. Colston, any other notes before we wrap up? Are you looking forward to your trip to Portman Road?
Yeah, it's a traditional proper football ground. It's brilliant. You took 7,000 to Milton Keynes the other week, and a good friend of mine who's a licensee in Burton is a massive Ipswich fan, home and away. And really clocks up the miles. And as I say, it's a cracking ground with a good atmosphere, and it feels like proper football going to Portman Road. So yes, look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's a big game for both teams. I'm looking forward to it. Colston, thanks for joining me again. And let us know in the comments, everybody, your thoughts going into this game, your predictions. And we'll see you at Portman Road.
Okay. Thank you. Cheers.